What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain, Garrett Morlang. Here in the virtual studio with me is the nerd dad, Zetch Keenan. And there on the other side of the studio, sitting across from me, is the one, the only, JJ Purdom.
Thank you.
I forgot. I didn't say anything. I forgot this is actually recording too.
I know you're just made a face at the
like
camera,
waving like a madman.
For all you audio listeners out there, Zetch really is here. We're not just pretending he's here.
Yeah. Psych.
And it's at this point in the show that my internet will fail, and then I'll be that's when that happens.
Yeah, we'll see how mine does.
It's tradition.
Yes.
Man, how was your guys' 4th of July weekends? Zetch, how'd it go?
Well, I'm in quarantine now. I got
that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun.
I got exposed to coronavirus. That was great.
That's what you get for going to those protests. You see what happens?
I was in the comfort of my own home. Just goes
you
to
had a protest children. In your house?
Yeah, you can protest wherever you want. I had a silent sit-in. I was protesting doing dishes.
Yeah.
Not doing this, babe.
And then she gave you COVID.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
No. It's not fine.
So technically, do you technically have the COVID right now, Zetch? Or
I gotta go get tested.
I mean, we're not supposed to ask that. Is it kind of a
No, I just gotta go get tested. I don't know. I don't know.
So have you seen any of the videos online where you get the giant Q-tip shoved down your nasal cavity back to the back of your throat?
Yeah. I haven't watched them, but
it's very uncomfortable. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. I've had it, and I went through a drive-through clinic to have my test. And
I'd like a number one and a Coke, please.
I'm the only one who literally opened up the lady's mouth and said, "Give me 2 double cheeseburgers." And yeah, she got really weird. They don't like joking, and they don't want you to touch them as well. So I was asked to politely leave. Yeah.
That's why they shoved it so far up your nose. Yeah. Like, yeah, you like this, you jerk?
It very well could have been. It very well could have been. But it's so uncomfortable. I watched them pull out the giant Q-tip on the person in front of me, and it was like a little old man.
They just keep going. It's like, what?
They just kept. It looked like they were unsheathing a lightsaber. The thing, it looked like thunder. Like, I'm telling you, it looked like Voltron's sword. And they shoved it down this dude's nose. It was 2 seconds. He's done and gone. And I'm like, well, that's not that bad. And then I pulled up, and the lady said, okay, it's going to be kind of uncomfortable. I swear that thing lasted for well over a minute and a half of her just digging in there. And I'm like, lady, you're touching my brain. Stop.
You took a wrong turn. You took a wrong turn.
Yeah,
I asked for an exam, not a lobotomy.
Well, I think what happened was she got in there and she's like, dude, it's like going deep. It was like I'm not touching anything. You know,
usually the brain stops it. It just kept going.
Yeah.
Right?
Why?
Who knew?
I don't understand how you get that's where the COVID germs are. How that's where you decide. I guess
they can't stick it anywhere else. I don't know.
Or a blood sample. I'd willingly give blood. Just take a sample of my blood.
It was weird when I first got there. I thought it was going to be a rectal thing, so I did bend over and moon them. And that's probably
car.
Yes, probably. And I was driving, so it was hard to keep the wheel going at the same time because I don't have a park brake. It's like a whole thing. I'll explain later. But yeah, and that's probably why they had the security come over after that. And then I tried to tell them no, I didn't really want you to put it up my butt. I was trying to be funny. And then it was, sir, step over here.
You want it up your butt? We'll get it up your butt.
Okay. Also, can you walk on this line, sir? Keep your arms out to the side. You know what? But bygones be bygones, and they're wonderful people. I've sent them flowers since.
And you don't have COVID.
No, I didn't have COVID either. That was the craziest thing of all. I kind of wanted it by that point. I wanted to get it over.
This better be worth it. I better end up with COVID in 2 weeks paid vacation.
Oh, man. Dang. Yeah. How was your 4th of July, JJ?
It was fantastic. A little short. It could have been a little longer. But it's good. I had a lot of fun. We did a lot of house cleaning on Saturday, and that was awesome.
That's fun.
No, I was having a blast. That's my favorite game. I tell my kids that all the time. What's Dad's favorite game? And they say hide in the bathroom on the phone. And then I go no. And then basically they say it's the most unfun game ever is clean the house. That's what I try to get them into, the whole cleaning process. Let's get in here and get it. Yeah. Despite what my van looks like, Garrett, I'm kind of OCD about cleaning house. So
That's actually a funny
it.
thing.
I don't believe
There's actually, it's true. There's a study done that people that actually are like super clean in their house have like the messiest cars, but people that have like the cleanest cars have like the messiest house.
Interesting.
Yeah, totally true. Totally
Obviously,
true.
I wasn't part of the study because I have an extremely clean house and car. Maybe I'm just a freak.
Well, I'm not saying
Maybe-
you're only those two people.
Maybe I'm a freak.
They were just studying those types of people.
Okay.
Like obviously, there's
So
people
it
that
was
have
like a
messy cars
survey. It
and
wasn't
messy
like a
houses.
survey. It was like an actual study looking for those people. Okay. That makes more sense.
They were just going to people's cars and parking lots and saying, "Can we follow you home and see what it looks like at your house?" I wonder how many people would take you up. Absolutely, come on in.
Yeah, follow me home. It's fine.
You want to check out my house? Go ahead. We see your room? Yeah, sure. This is my room.
So since you're having to quarantine, I've taken it that you're going to have a sweet 2-week vacation at home where you just put your feet up. No, wait, no. Oh no.
No, man.
You mean they have you working from home?
The fun doesn't stop for me, bro.
Nazis.
Nah.
That's not right.
Nah, I don't mind.
You should have just told them you had the COVID. Like, I have the COVID.
Yeah, that's called lying. I'm a lot of things, but I am not a liar.
Zach, if you would like, I could call and make that call for you because I'm not above that. I'm totally okay. I'm totally okay doing that for you.
I appreciate you putting yourself out there like that, but I think I got it. Okay. Yeah. No, but seriously though, it's actually really not that bad. I got my home office set up now. It's pretty cool.
If you need your employer to send you a letter, I can write one for you if you'd like.
Thank you. I'm Zetch's boss.
I mean, technically we're co-hosts, but I like to pretend I'm the boss.
I like it.
Oh boy, cool. How about we get on with the show here? We have a couple little pieces of housekeeping before we get to the nerdy nudes. patreon.com/supergamerboys. You can go support us over there for just $1 a month and get our episodes early, ad-free. We'll talk more about it later on the show, but I really want to give a shout out to our Patreon producer, Adrian Holmes. Our Patreon sponsors, we have Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Dustin Long, and Brent Fox. So yeah, shout out to you guys. You all are very, very awesome people. Even the ones that we didn't shout out, you guys are very, very awesome. Very, very cool. Thank you so much. And if you want to hear more about it, we'll be talking about later in the show some other perks you can get by supporting us. And the next thing I want to shout out is our giveaway we're doing, Instagram giveaway, that is. I feel like it was clear in the post on Instagram, but I don't know if we've been clear on the episode, so I just want to be clear. It is an Instagram giveaway. Follow us over there, and I have a post that we posted a couple weeks ago. You can actually go to supergamerboys.com/giveaway, and it takes you right to that post. You can see all the rules. You have to follow us on Instagram, post a selfie with your favorite game, make sure to use the hashtag supergamerboys giveaway, tag us in the photo, and on July 15th, we will be choosing a random winner from the lot of people who are entering, which we have a few now. I think we're up to 5 or 6 people have entered. So
yeah,
chances are getting
pretty tight.
Competition's getting pretty tight out there. You can win a $50 gift card for the video game storefront of your choice. We're doing either PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, or Steam. So kind of the 4 main ones. We're not getting super weird. I'm not going to buy you a GOG gift card or something
Stadia.
like that. Or Stadia. No Stadia.
Garrett, did you happen to see on Instagram that we did have a submission from somebody by the name of Ray J. Purdom?
No.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to have to do that again on Instagram. Okay, carry on.
You know that you can't enter. You're a host.
I didn't put my name on there. That's the whole deal. I changed my name. So you see how that works?
I know
It's technically
what you
a
did
legal
there.
loophole. I know.
Okay.
I know lawyer stuff.
Legally,
I had a friend who was a lawyer. Yeah.
Legally, I guess that
you
does
could do
clear
that.
you. I guess that works.
I think that's how that works.
I need to consult with my lawyer. Zech, does that clear him for being able to win?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
My lawyer says no. That does not. It does not clear.
All because you have a pseudonym as Ray J still means you're the same individual.
Okay. I don't like the way you guys do things. I didn't realize.
You guys don't like the way we you guys don't like the way we keep the rules fair?
Exactly. You keep doing that fair stuff, and that's not fair to me.
We bought you a copy of Last of Us Part 2. Come on, what are you complaining about?
No, you cost me my own copy of that so that you could play it. See?
I don't know if Zech just heard this. I don't think Zech just heard this.
I was forcibly made to go get my own copy because he was just tired of me like saying, I'm going to take longer, sorry. And then he pushed on my wife and was like, hey, he really could use his own copy. Please get him his own copy. You know what a great guy he is. Just get him a dang copy already. And then she comes home and she's like, hey, Garrett said that you were off the podcast if I didn't get you your own copy. And then also I got the insurance for it. And that's
your wife would have been like, fine, take him off the podcast.
Exactly.
So I think this is a lie.
Well, there's more truth to it than you probably would like, probably. Now, last week before we started recording, I was his wife walked in the room. I think was getting him a glass of water or talking to him or something. I was like, hey, wait, put her on the line, and she jumped on. I was like, hey, so JJ, he's been busting his butt on the podcast. He's been killing it at work, for our pest control company. He's really just been working so hard. And he really, really deserves his own copy of Last of Us Part 2. Because what's going to happen is he's going to beat it. He's going to give it to me. He's really going to want to play it again, but I'm going to be in the middle of playing it. I think he needs his own copy. And I think that'd be such an amazing gift to get for your wonderful husband. I really buttered her up. And then, totally joking around. And we laughed about it afterwards. And I thought it was pretty clear that I was just totally screwing. She called me the next day and she's just like, hey, so I'm standing outside of a GameStop. Do you think, are they available right now? I'm like,
oh, that is so cool, man.
Yeah, but I told her, I'm like, just to be completely clear, I was totally kidding. If I guilted you in anything, I felt so bad immediately. She's like, oh, no. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I want to get it for him. I'm like, okay, as long as it's you and
awesome.
As long as it's you and not me. And then JJ that night was just at first it was just yay kind of thing. You posted a picture and then you're like, you idiot, you cost me $60. It was a bittersweet, a little bit of a bittersweet thing for JJ, but hey, you have your own copy now.
That's so cool that your wife was wanting to do that. That was awesome.
Yeah,
kudos to your wife. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I really do love that game. It's been so much fun. So
not the wife, just the game. Okay, let's get on. I think it's time for the nerdy nudes.
Yeah, that was
weird. Dude, you're such a jerk. It's now time for the nerdy news.
Okay, let's get into the first news story here. Okay, so this is kind of a heavy one. I mean, if you guys missed it, what was that? It was last weekend or a couple weekends ago. It was a couple weekends ago now. There was a huge blowout online where all these people in the gaming industry were getting outed for sexual misconduct of different sorts, whether all the way from sexual assault to just verbal things, different, all sorts of abuses that were happening. And a lot of things came out about IGN and different things from people in the past, not currently. But this is kind of a big one that came out, more of a big deal because the whole event got canceled. Evo 2020 canceled after co-founder abuse allegations. So the event co-founder, Joey, I'm going to pronounce this. Trivia.
Buttafuoco.
Quellar, I think it's Quellar. Acknowledged the claim on Twitter. This is from Engadget, Daniel Cooper over there. Fighting game tournament Evo 2020 has been canceled after co-founder Joey Mr. Wizard, Quellar, was accused of assaulting a minor. The esports tournament, which announced in May that it was going online only in the wake of COVID-19, will now not go ahead. In a tweet, Evo said that it was parting company with Quellar, who will no longer be involved with Evo in any capacity. Co-founder Tony Cannon will now lead the company, prioritizing greater accountability across Evo, both internally and at its events. Ars Technica reports that Quellar was accused of assault by Mikey Crackprawn, fam, while the latter was a teenager. After his story was posted on Twitter, a number of high-profile players and commentators said they would not take part in this year's tournament. Quellar subsequently appeared to acknowledge the accusations in a tweet, saying that he has done things he is not proud of and expressed remorse. Shortly after publication, Evo canceled the event and dismissed Quellar from his role. I'm just going to read this last little part here. A number of video game publishers who partner with Evo to run the tournaments sought to distance themselves from the event in a statement. Capcom even came out and said that it would not participate in light of the event's recent accusations of misconduct. And NetherRealm also came out. Publisher of Mortal Kombat 11 said it was withdrawing in solidarity with those who have spoken out against abuse. So, man, that's heavy stuff. Like it's serious. I mean, and like I said, it's been just stop it, Siri. Siri thinks I'm talking to her.
Serious.
Yeah. It's been crazy in the games industry. Like it was just like wildfire. All of a sudden, one thing came out, and like every company had someone, and high profile people, which is sad. But man, yeah, this is a big deal. Like when. Like how often is it canceling events that this is happening, and something as big as Evo? Like it's been a while since there's been any, like, has Evo ever been canceled?
Yeah, I can't think of any time.
That's kind of crazy. But
yeah, this is a really sad time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like
it's coming out all at the same time, the way that it is. The same thing is happening in the pro wrestling business, where it seems like everybody started saying, let's get out there and start bringing out all the dirt. So like all this horrible stuff is coming out, and you know what? I can't make any jokes about it. I can't make light of any of this stuff because it's honestly very, very sad the way that some of these people have acted in their positions, and letting people believe that they can get somewhere in the industries that they're performing in or working in by performing sexual acts and things of that nature. It's disgusting, and I'm sorry to see it, but I'm glad that all things are going to come to the light, with stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is that it's also really important to kind of keep a level head. Like we don't know, it's not safe to assume that everybody that comes forward is telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, in this case, obviously he did acknowledge that he, did something wrong.
Yeah.
Which was good because that was the first thing that came to my mind was like, okay, well, is it actually true? And then I read the tweet and I was like, oh yeah, that's about as true as it gets. So
yeah. Without straight up like, confessing it, you pretty much was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's it says some standing, and man, yeah, it's just so horrible. Like people who have just a little bit of power, just I don't know, fall into abusing it like that, and why do people suck so bad?
We're all sinners.
Yeah, man, ain't that the truth?
I don't know about me, but I mean, you guys, yes. But me, not as much.
Especially you, JJ.
No.
Oh man.
Okay, maybe you're right.
I was kidding. Especially all of us.
So yeah, so this year there's no Evo, but I don't know. It sounded like it was going to be kind of it would have been. I just, as far as like the event goes, now kind of moving on past like why it got canceled, moving on to it being canceled, and it seemed like even just to have it all online, like a lot of games are online nowadays, but was there ever the infrastructure that we thought that it was actually going to be like viable for tournament play? Like that just seems so crazy that they thought that would ever be like, yeah, this will be good for like doing super precise, like no latency, like tournaments and stuff like that. It seemed like it could have been a train wreck anyways, as far as like people accepting it as like, whoever won in the end is going to be like, well, it's because we played online and I had lag or something like that.
Well, whatever. Sucks to suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Anyway.
I was just kind of surprised they even decided to go forward with the event in the first place. That's all. I was just saying, it's just like, it seemed like, oh, they could have just canceled it. But before. But
Maybe he should have. Maybe he's like, man, I should cancel it.
Yeah, right. Looking back now, he's like, dang it. No. Yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah, I hope he gets what's coming to him.
Yeah. This next news story, this is probably the biggest news of the night right here. This comes from Video Game Chronicle.
It's not that big.
This is the biggest
Get
news
back
of the
in your
night.
seats, everybody. Sit down. He's telling a joke.
Ready for this? This is not a joke. This is like 5-alarm fire, kind of like everyone on should be standing and running and screaming, and I don't know why, but
No.
the headline reads...
Is that stupid one about Hideo Kojima?
You're the worst. You spoiled it for me. You didn't get me. Let me say it. Hideo Kojima's...
Gosh! I have no. Oh my gosh! Garrett, I've had 3 kids, and those were the most beautiful moments of my life. But ruining this for you, it was even more special. Oh man! Oh, thank you for that. Oh, I want to thank my mom and dad.
He's just going to edit it out.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's too lazy to do that anymore. He's tired.
I'm too tired.
Okay, no. Hey, pretend like I didn't say it. Go ahead, Garrett. Do it. Go ahead real quick. It's okay.
From
The
video
greatest
games
news of the night is...
by Andy
Tell him about
Robinson.
Hideo Kojima.
Okay, take it.
What? Oh, sorry. No. It's not
Dang
about
it,
Hideo
JJ.
Kojima.
Dang
it's
it,
not.
JJ.
It's not about Hideo Kojima.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Is it the one about Death Stranding?
Yeah. About part 2. Yeah.
I hate both of you so much. I hate you both. All I ask is I just give me this one thing. Like, I don't get much in life. I don't get much out of life. Just give me this one thing. This is one little pleasure, please.
I'm done.
This is really funny. Couldn't resist.
Andy Robinson over at Video Games Chronicle writes, Hideo Kojima's new game tease suggests it could be Death Stranding 2.
Oh man, I feel the excitement coming from you.
Wow,
man!
I was stoked. Honestly,
You're
I was
right.
stoked out of my mind. Until you guys ruined it.
One of the biggest AAA titles of the year last year is getting a sequel. Oh man, the skies have opened up.
Well, so the reason it's more so exciting is because originally it was kind of thought like he wanted to move on. He was like, okay, like I kind of want to move on. I want to do a different thing. But only recently have interviews come out that have said that he's actually like, well, maybe I would do a sequel, but it would be like kind of a ground zero, which people think, oh, is it going to be kind of like a prequel kind of thing?
It's going to be like a Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. That's what he meant.
Probably. It'll tie together Ground Zeroes and Death Stranding.
Get it?
Jeez. But yeah, Hideo Kojima has teased his next game on Twitter with images that suggest it could be set in the same universe as Death Stranding. In a tweet posted this weekend, Kojima said he is designing his new title with longtime collaborator and character artist Yoji Shinkawa, who, by the way, is one of my favorite artists ever.
I'm sure.
Have you seen his stuff though? Like besides
he's
like
fantastic.
besides
He's
the
got
Metal
the pretty
Gear stuff.
that watercolor style is pretty sick. Yeah.
But it's like with the ink, and it's like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Discussing the setting for each character, the background, the world, the color, the characteristics, the roles, the images, ideas, and keyword. I don't know what that means, but in a second tweet, Kojima posted an image of a vehicle which appears to be brandished with the name Bridges, which is a company featured in Death Stranding. PS4 exclusive Death Stranding released on November 2019, and according to Kojima, this was an article we did actually a few weeks ago, has sold enough copies to recover its development cost. A PC version of Death Stranding is also planned in just a couple weeks for all you PC nerds out there. But Death Stranding's actor Norman Reedus recently claimed in an interview he was in talks to work on another project with Kojima Productions and suggested that it could be Death Stranding related. Reedus has struck up a strong relationship with Kojima, blah, blah, blah. Right here. Speaking in a new video interview by Wired, Rita suggests that he could partner again for a future project. We did Death Stranding, which was a huge hit, and we're in talks to do other stuff, which, and he says later in the video, it says, talking to Hideo about maybe doing some Death Stranding stuff, which people, okay, is it a sequel or will it be DLC? Either way, I'm excited because I love Death Stranding. And if it's DLC, I'm going to be stoked. If it's a sequel, I'm going to be stoked. But
do you think there's room for DLC right now? I mean, can you see where that would fit in the world that it was created?
So based off of what Kojima said about it being like kind of a ground zero type game, makes me think it could be kind of like The Last of Us Left Behind, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Like that was my first thought. Kind of like almost like, hey, set up a character, whether it's a specific character or maybe he uses it to set up, what the heck happened to this world? How, like, yeah, kind of a prequel, but just a very narrow one. Left Behind was like what, 2 or 3 hours long. So they're doing like a little like 2 or 3 hour long, like kind of prequel deal is set up like, who the heck is this Norman Reedus dude, or the Sam Bridges, or if they actually want to go like, okay, this is when the event first happened, like, it's experiencing that for the first time, maybe playing as, who knows, maybe playing as Mads Mikkelsen character Cliff. So I don't know. I'm stoked. Cliff. I know you guys are all, blah about it, but that's because you just
no, we're excited.
That's just because there's bigger things going on in the world right now.
No, that is the biggest thing in my world right now.
You didn't hear about Zetch having COVID? That's pretty big, dude. Like,
yeah, how come you're not a fan of me getting COVID?
That's something
if you want me to be a fan of you getting COVID,
it would nice to know I'm appreciated once in a while, Garrett.
in our feature article this week in the Nerdy Nudes, Zetch Keenan gets COVID, but he's still got to work at home for 2 weeks.
That could be the title of our episode.
Zetch has COVID.
Zetch has COVID. Oh man,
Zetch has the Rona.
Let's get in the next news story then, because this one is a big one, for real. An
actual big one.
For real this time. And this is kind of a two-part. I'm going to link 2 articles here. So the first one, leaked Microsoft document hints at second next-gen Xbox. The document mentions multiple Project Scarlet consoles. This is from Tom Warren over at The Verge. So this is a thing, just article aside, there's been rumors of Lockhart forever.
Yeah.
But only recently have they found kind of more evidence, which is what this article is talking here. So the leaked document, I'm cutting in later on the article because the beginning just basically talks about the key possible differences, again, all rumored between Lockhart and Series X, but a couple paragraphs down. The leaked document also mentions a Lockhart profiling mode, which is built into the what is it? The main board, the motherboard of the consoles. Sources familiar with Microsoft Xbox plans tell The Verge that this special Lockhart mode is part of the Xbox Series X developer kit. The dev kit codenamed Dante allows game developers to enable a special Lockhart mode that has a profile of the performance that Microsoft wants to hit with a second console. We understand that this includes 7.5 gigs of usable RAM, slightly underclocked CPU speed, 4 teraflops of GPU performance, and then it gives us the Series X specs, which are more like 13.5 gigs of RAM, 12 like teraflops. Huge. So it's like huge difference between Lockhart and the Series X there.
It's like a quarter of the power.
Exactly.
Or a third.
And it's actually so developers will be able to use this Lockhart mode to test their games against their performance profile to do validation checks. There's even a little clip from Microsoft's website. It says Microsoft Game Development Kit, June 2020 GDK release. Welcome to the June 2020 Microsoft Game Development Kit release. You can use the GDK to develop games that can be certified and approved for release on Windows 10 PCs, Xbox One consoles, and Project Scarlet consoles, plural. And it says, in fact, you can target all those devices using a shared code base. So that's right on Microsoft's website. So there's all this kind of evidence stacking up that this is a legit thing. Then, which, again, we've talked about it for a while. We all kind of knew it probably existed. It was going to be a cheaper model, more, something to kind of slide in underneath the PS5 in price, but have the similar specs probably and be able to kind of blow them out of the water. Then Zetch messaged me today on the old Instagram and sent me this article here. Xbox Series X first-party games showcase coming on July 23rd. Xbox has announced that its showcase of Xbox Series X games, including first-party titles, will be broadcast on July 23rd. It gives the times 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Eastern. Recent rumors have also centered around the possibility of reveals for Fable 4, a new Perfect Dark game.
Come on. Let it die. They did so bad in the last one. Just forget it.
Those hoping to see the much-rumored Xbox Series S may be disappointed, with rumors pointing toward an August reveal. So that's what I was why I wanted to connect these two, because everyone I've heard a lot of people mention that they think the Series X won't be revealed until August for some reason. But do you think Xbox pulls a Sony and says, hey, it's a first-party games showcase, and at the end, hey, we have one last thing, and shows off the console? Like, I don't know. I feel like they could totally pull
Xbox
that
has
in.
done that in the past, so they usually end with a big surprise. So who knows?
It's highly
I mean,
likely.
I think now that the cat's semi out of the bag, they might as well just go, all the way with it and just take it all the way out of there. Take it all the way out of the bag.
just rip it out of that bag.
Like, get out of there, cat.
It just seems crazy for them, like, to announce something that late. Like, think about it. Like, the console would probably release just like a couple months later, October, November. That seems so crazy to wait until August to announce a thing. I feel like they need to get out there sooner than later, right?
So being a total, unprofessional person that's not in the gaming corporate world at all, but comparing what like Sega did with like the Saturn, right? Like Sega was like, hey, we're dropping the Saturn. Basic comes out like next month, and it failed, right? Because nobody even knew about it. Nobody had time enough to actually really get it. Now they're announcing this console after they've already announced that they have this big console coming out. So now they announce this big console coming out, and they're going to drop this baby one coming out in a couple more months. There's a chance to be like, hey, yes, you have two models. You have this big model. And you have this other one that's cheaper. So people that are already interested in the Xbox Series X can now be like, oh, well, my grandson really wanted an Xbox for his Christmas, so I guess I can just get him this cheaper one. There's that aspect of it,
Yeah, no,
because
totally.
grandparents are the only ones that buy kids, consoles anymore. I don't buy my kids consoles. I buy me consoles and let my kids play them.
They get to watch me play.
Yeah, I don't know, that I seem to think they'll probably sneak that out there only because of like PlayStation did. I feel like they're going to be like, oh, okay, like because in a way that would, I feel like it would kind of one up them if they can come out with a bunch of awesome first party games at this like reveal event. So like that says the rumored Fable, that would be amazing. The Halo, if they show off some of that, it'd be great. I'm sure they're going to show off a Forza.
They own so many studios. They got to drop something.
I'm sure they're going to, who knows, they might have an updated trailer for the Hellblade game, all sorts of stuff. It's going to be pretty sick. I hope. We all hope.
Have you played Hellblade? Sidebar, but have you played Hellblade?
I played the first like 2 or 3 hours. I didn't beat it. I know it's like not super long, but yeah, I didn't beat it, but I did play a bit of it. I have it on PC. Oh, it's on PC Game Pass, or it used to be anyways.
I played it on VR. There's a VR version of it.
That sounds terrifying.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was nuts. So like it's not like VR like you are her. You're actually more like just like a person is kind of like following her around.
Okay. So it's like a third person still over the shoulder.
Yeah, you're like right behind her like the entire time. But when she's like looking around, like it goes in like these like cinematic modes, she's like looking like right at you in terror, and you're like, oh, I can just like step aside. No, they've set it so her eyes lock onto you. So no matter where you're at, you're like, stop it, stop it.
Jeez.
And then the audio, oh yeah. I have it. So one of these days when I don't have the Rona, you guys are gonna have to come over and play it.
I was gonna say, like, Zetch, I'm waiting on that invite when you don't have the Corona.
You guys can come over right now. Come on over. Come on.
I'm down. I really had the Q-tip up my nose. Let's just do it. Garrett, what do you say? We can make it happen tonight.
Yeah, everybody, come on.
Yeah, we'll get the COVID. Be there an hour. We'll finish recording then. How about that?
Yeah. Anyway,
dude,
continue.
No, that's what I want to finish that eventually, because I've heard how incredible it was. And then just after that trailer at the Game Awards for the second one, I'm like, holy smokes. Like, I don't know if I'll ever have it. Like, one day I hope to have an Xbox, and that might be one of the first games I play. Just that trailer was so intense. Like, holy cow.
If you end up just getting a PC, I mean, that's the other thing too, is that Xbox is like, well, that's the smartest thing they ever did. Combine Windows 10 and Xbox. And they're like, well, all the games we got coming out on Xbox, you can put them on Windows. We have the operating system. Or Microsoft.
Yeah. No, and that's what I've actually kind of started recently. I haven't played a lot more PC games, but I've been picking up more PC games like through Steam and stuff like that. So I'm like, like, why not? Like, I have this PC that can, fairly powerful. I mentioned in the Discord the other day, I'm like, looking back now, I wish I'd bought a desktop, because then I could upgrade it. Because with this, even though it's a custom gaming laptop, like, really the only thing I can upgrade in it is like
the RAM.
Without like totally like tearing it down to the point where like, I'm probably going to break something. Like, the way it's designed is not made to be easily swapped in and out. So yeah, I really wish I bought a desktop, but maybe in like 10 years I'll be able to get one. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows what we'll see at the showcase. I hope we see some awesome games. And I don't know, I think it'd be cool to see the Lockhart. And what if they came out too and just gave their prices? PlayStation's been so cagey. Do you think Xbox finally just pulls the trigger and just like, I'm sick of playing chicken, let's just give out our price, or no?
Something's got to give, man. I'm really hoping they do.
Eventually, at this point, they're just playing chicken with each other. It's like something's got to give. Someone has to go first.
I was actually going to ask that same question. I'm thinking they're going to go ahead and let the price out of the bag this week.
Almost like this week or during that reveal event?
No, during the reveal. Wait, the reveal's not this week?
No, it's on the 23rd, like the end of the month or something like that.
I probably should be listening when you're talking.
It might help a little bit. I could see them, because I could see them showing off a ton of awesome games, and then showing like a view, like, a really cinematic view of the Xbox Series X, camera panning around, and then like as it zooms out at the end, it shows the price. And everyone's going to be like, holy crap, that's a lot of money. And then it's going to come up with like, whoosh, like float up like Series S or whatever they're going to call it, with like the lower price point.
No,
you don't think they'll do that?
But I like how you visualize
that's basically
they did a good job putting that together, though. They should hire
That's basically what PS5 did, minus the prices. But they did like, here's our cool one with a disc. And then they're like, and here's the one with no disc. So I was like, I basically just copied Sony, but...
Zach, you're going to be taking a vacation, and then Garrett, you have a baby coming soon. Are you guys going to just leave me alone to do the podcast or something?
No.
What's the deal?
No.
Okay. All right.
You will never do the podcast alone.
Are you referring to him being quarantined as a vacation?
No, he said something about taking a vacation. Unless you were referencing the quarantine.
Takes time for work.
Nice.
No, JJ, okay. I would never trust you with this.
I remember, this is how I type, is like one finger at a time. So like I don't know how to use a mouse. So I mean, if you need me to edit, I probably can figure it out. You give me YouTube in 25 minutes and a 6-pack of Red Bull, and I'll get it done. I mean, it won't be pretty. In fact, it'll be dang right ugly. But I'll make it work. There'll be duct tape all over that show.
Cool.
So is there any games that we didn't already kind of mention that you do really want to be there, like that you hope we'll either see more of that they've talked about, or something we haven't even heard about?
Cuphead 2. I want a Cuphead 2.
Dude, with the cartoon coming out, with the new cartoon coming out from Netflix, I could totally see him doing a sequel.
They already announced it. They announced like a bunch of DLC. It was actually announced as a sequel, and then I think they morphed it into a DLC. But I think I think they'll have it. Hopefully drop that soon. They announced like an extra character.
Yeah. That's one of their biggest, like one of the...
Garrett.
What?
Do you have it? Do you have Cuphead?
I do.
We should totally stream you and me playing Cuphead.
I'm really bad at it. Like, I think I got to like, what boss was it? It's like one of the first bosses, like with the carrots.
Really?
Yeah, it was hard.
Come on, man.
I beat it, but it took a long time. And after that, I think I stopped playing for a little bit. I was like, I need to take a little bit of a break.
I'm on the third world. I haven't beat the third world.
Okay. Yeah, I was first world, like first. I think it's the very first mission you do. It was like
Man.
I was like, oh, this is really hard. I'm
You
really
rage
bad.
quit the carrots?
Platformers are my jam.
Yeah, I mean, I think I need to hook up a controller when I play it too. Like, it's
Oh,
hard
yeah.
for me to play a hard game and then on a keyboard and mouse that I'm not used to playing on.
Oh,
That
that's
was
your
really
problem.
difficult. So maybe
That's
I
your
need to
problem.
hook a controller up. That might help me
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, use the controller for sure, because that's like make or break.
Okay, I might need to go back because that's the thing. When I played it, I'm like, this game's so beautiful. I love the music. Like, the whole aesthetic is really fun, really awesome. I'm like, it's really stinking hard.
Yeah. A new Gears game. I'd want to see a new Gears game.
Already?
I mean, I just want
After
the whole
Gears 5?
Oh yeah, especially after
Okay.
Gears 5. The way that game ended, I'm like, come on. I need like Gears 4 was kind of like a lull in like the story, and then Gears 5 like ramped it up to like 100. It's like, okay, because like the Gears 4 ended, you're like, oh dang, the next one could be really good. It's like, just like you played through Gears 4, like it was really boring, and then the end came, and you're like, that was actually a really good ending, big major plot twist. 5 really capitalized on that plot twist, and then at the end of 5, you have to make some decisions, and you're like, that are like game altering decisions, like whatever's gonna happen in the next game.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, like it's very Mass Effect-y in that way. Where so I'm like, oh jeez. Like now I'm like, I'm in. I gotta find out what happens next. So if they announce a Gear 6, I'd be really, really appreciative.
Dang. I feel like that's so soon though. Like, that's you get like a logo. That's all you're getting for that one.
Oh yeah, it'll probably be a couple more years.
But dang, crazy. Yeah, I got about halfway through that one, I think, too, and just, I don't know. PC games are just hard for me to stick with. No, it's those PC games are hard to stick with, especially like because I tried it. I was like, I just need to learn how to use keyboard and mouse. It is just so hard for me because I've just always played controller my whole life. So yeah, I was on PC Game Pass. I need to just bite the bullet and hook up a controller because it's compatible with DualShock 4 controllers. I don't know why I don't just do it.
Yeah,
but I need to get back to it.
Stop whining like a little baby.
I don't know.
Oh,
I just
keyboard.
in the moment, I just don't think of it. In my head, it's like I gotta be a purist. I gotta play on the PC.
In the moment, you don't think of it. Like the moment you're like, I hate this keyboard. I wish I had a controller.
In the moment, I'm just like, this is hard. I don't know why, and then I just turn it off. That's what happens.
This is nothing like a controller. I wish I had one.
You know what? I think it's time for the next news story. This one is kind of it's another two-parter. Let's start with which one should we start with? Let's start with the original one. Here's the original kind of one that came out. So this is the one I introduced just right before the show there, the Verge article. So NBA 2K21's PS5 and Series X versions will cost $69.99, hinting at a next-gen price jump. Is $70 a new standard for the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5? So this story here has layers. So that's not even the craziest thing about this story. We'll get to it here. 2K Games has announced that it'll sell the next-gen PS5 and Xbox Series X versions for $69.99, a $10 increase. And it's the first indication that the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 may be bringing a price increase from the standard $60 that major video games have been sold at for years when they arrive this fall. Most video games have been sold at $60 price since the 7th gen console era of the 360, PS3, and Nintendo Wii, which was a $10 price increase from the $50 standard that had preceded it. But if 2K21 is any indication, the $60 era is about to be over. I'm assuming other game studios follow 2K Games' lead here. So scrolling down here, so that's part of the story. The other part is the whole pricing structure for the Mamba Forever edition and the other various editions of 2K21 that they're selling here. So let me zoom in on this stupid little graphic. It's impossible to see. Here it is. So this is the most bizarre thing ever. Doesn't really make any sense. 2K21. If you want it for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Stadia, it will be $59.99, $60, right? And if you want the Series X version and PS5 version, it's $70. if you now, this is what blew my mind, is because so far we've seen what Madden 21 and a lot of other games talk about how smart delivery on Xbox is just a thing. It's going to be free. Everyone's kind of giving it. Cyberpunk's already talked about you'll get like an upgraded version. A lot of people are talking that. 2K21 comes out and they're just like, hey, we don't give a crap about what everyone else is doing. If you want to buy the PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, or Stadia version, I guess technically the PS4 and the Xbox One version, and you want to get that upgrade, we're going to charge you for it. But we're disguising it as a special edition. So it's a 2K21 Mamba Forever edition, which, I mean, looks sick, by the way. Like, the art is great, and it comes with all sorts of really cool stuff, commemorating Kobe Bryant. But that is the only way to get the PS5 and Xbox Series X version. And even then, you only get the base version. You don't get the special edition version. When I first read that, I was like, wait, what? So you're going to charge you $100 in order to get this upgrade. They're going to upcharge you for that upgrade. And then you don't even get like the special edition version. Like, that seems so crazy to me.
Wow.
And then
it's impressively messed up.
Yeah. No, 100%. And then and then there's two different versions of the Mamba Forever edition. There is so you can get the PS4 version of the Mamba Forever edition to get the PS5 base version, or you can get the PS5 Mamba Forever edition, which has a different cover and everything. And what you do is they'll give you the base version of the PS4 version. So either way, you're just like, if you want the special edition for both, you're spending $200.
Yeah, no thanks.
And just sorry, go ahead, Zitch.
I was saying no thanks.
Yeah. Well, I was I wanted to comment real quick just on the basis of the $10 increase. I think that like a lot of people kind of already expected the $10 increase with the PS5 and the X series coming out. 15 years is a long time to be at $60. I don't think that it's unreasonable to come up $10 for paying $70 for. I would do that for The Last of Us. I mean, and I'm sure you would have done that for Death Stranding. These AAA titles, they're putting a lot of effort and money, and they're not getting a whole lot of return from them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hours being put into making these games. So I don't think $10 on the offset. I don't like what 2K21 is doing. That's kind of bogus. But
that's kind of what sorry.
No, I was just thinking the $10 increase. I think we all kind of expected it. I'm surprised it hasn't already happened over the last couple of years. I think they're just kind of waiting on it for the new generation that's coming out.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the next article was about. It's kind of like the 2K21 deal, as kind of tone deaf and crazy as that whole thing is, because there's like a much better way they could have gone about that. I mean, other people have already done it better. Like EA's already kind of got it figured out, and some other companies, which is surprising. EA kind of did something right for once.
Yeah.
Like and even then, like they did it, but they had a weird time frame on it, and people complained enough that they fixed it and said, okay, fine, you can upgrade all the way up until the next one comes out next year, kind of thing. So they've even they're doing way better than anyone else out there for the whole upgrade thing. And then for 2K to come out is just like, what the heck were you thinking? But yeah, no, as far as what JJ was saying there, spot on. That's what the next article was from gamesindustry.biz. Other publishers are now considering raising game prices for PS5, Xbox Series X. So there's a quote in here I wanted to read that for some reason I can't find it now. I can find it in the subheader here. So it says cost of development has increased between 200% and 300%, while game prices have remained flat. And I think that was an article or a quote from Phil Spencer, if I remember right. Or no, I'm wrong. That was IDG president and CEO Yoshio Osaki actually says that. It says the next gen console game production costs have increased by 200 to 300% depending on the IP, studio, and genre, but the prices have remained at $59.99. Meanwhile, cinema ticket prices have risen 39%, Netflix subscription costs have gone up 100%, cable TV packages have risen by 105%. Even with the increase to $69.99 for next gen, that price increase from 2005 to 2020 next gen is only up 17%, far lower than the other comparisons. While the cost of development and publishing have gone up, and pricing in other entertainment verticals have also gone up substantially. So I'm right there with you, JJ. Yeah, like as far as like the price going up is bound to happen, and it needs to happen. Like technology is getting more expensive to work with. The quality of games over the last 15 years has just exponentially like grown. I feel like as far as like technology and even like the way storytelling is. Like look at any Sony game, like the cinematic kind of storytelling that they do in there. It's bizarre. And to be charging
really
like
actually
$60 a
feel bad.
game. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to tell you that I actually feel bad that I spoiled this part of the article. I probably should have read those things when you sent them to me, but I'm going to be honest, Garrett, Zetch, I never read the articles. I know. I know you guys are shocked. I know. I know. I know you guys are shocked. I roll with the punches, man. I like to take in information and just give it back. You know, that's how I do things. So I didn't mean to ruin your article thing there, Garrett. But man, I'm really smart, huh?
I know. That's what I was going to say. You shouldn't have said anything because really it just made you seem smart because you agreed with GameIndustry.biz. So
yeah,
you know,
you're all over it.
You didn't do a very good job of rolling with it right then. So
you got to roll it
next time.
The other way.
You win some and you lose some. All I got to say is at least I don't got the COVID like Zetch. You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah. But so as far as the pricing is concerned, yeah, I think we're probably all in consensus. I know Zetch hasn't said much. Like we're all pretty okay with the price jump. But
that's because he's burning up with fever right now.
I know.
Come on.
So hot. I got the chills, guys.
But yeah, what is 2K doing over there? And okay, so do we think, because EA, even though what they did originally was pretty great and pretty spot on already with the whole Madden, like, hey, you get the upgrade until like March or April of next year, as long as you purchase it by then. And they self-corrected even with that minor flub they had. Do you think 2K21 buckles to the vocal, people on the social media, or do you think they just like, screw it, like we make so much money, who cares?
There's a chance they could.
Yeah, I think they'll buckle.
I feel like nowadays people are so much more in tune to what their social sentiment is online and what's the, what people are kind of the feedback that they're getting, that it's pretty easy for them to pivot. I mean, unless there's some sort of like pricing issues that they're having internally, like with licensing and not being able to do certain things with the special edition that they just can't change. There's that aspect of it too. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, who knows?
The biggest thing with 2K21 is it's known for being this riddled with microtransactions. Like last year, they had a literal slot machine in there. Like the year that like like everyone was freaking out about all these like loot boxes and microtransactions. And 2K20 was like, hey, by the way, we got a slot machine. You can just pull the thing and see what you get. You might get garbage. Sorry. they didn't care. Like that's what makes me think like they might not care. They might not change the price just because they're like, we don't care. Like you cried about loot boxes, we added a slot machine. You're crying about the price, we might jack it up higher. Like I don't know. Like they seem like that kind of company so far. At least with the 2K series, the NBA series.
NBA.
So
yeah, none of that's been a Bioshock yet. So
I don't know. It's bizarre.
So we'll see.
Okay, we will have to wait and see. And we have one last news story here. This one won't take too long. This is just a little. I'm excited for this. I don't know who else is. No one else has brought it up. Maybe Zetch.
Wait, is this the stupid one about Hideo Kojima?
No, we did that one.
No, you did that one earlier. Never mind.
Like,
sorry.
A couple articles too late. Yeah.
Garrett, edit that out. Just go ahead. I'm sorry about that. I just got edit that out.
I'll cut it. Okay.
Okay.
So this comes from Tech Radar. Fallout TV show on Amazon Prime. So as if the real world apocalypse going on around us wasn't enough, you'll soon be able to get the end of the world kicks from a Fallout TV adaptation coming to the Amazon Prime video streaming service. Yes, the veteran irradiated RPG game series is getting the big budget Hollywood treatment following in the footsteps of the recently confirmed Last of Us TV show, with several games worth of lore to pick from, a totally varied universe to dive into, and potential for some epic Mad Max-like set pieces. This is certainly an announcement to be quietly excited about, especially once you factor in the production talent tied in to make the post-nuclear world a reality. So they have the way this article is laid out was not great. So I kind of wish I chose a different one. It is going to be an Amazon Prime original, so Amazon's producing it, which they make some decent stuff.
Great stuff.
Did you guys watch Men in High Castle?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
It's an excellent show.
Yep. Yeah. They make some really good stuff.
Hannah? You watch Hannah?
That's the one I keep seeing it pop up. I haven't watched that one.
Well, it's really boring. But like the action is really good.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife's watched Marvelous Miss
Cool.
Maisel. She loved Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Okay, yeah, I've heard great ones about that too. Yeah, honestly, I haven't watched a ton of Amazon Prime originals. I feel like I hear about a lot of great quality through there, but not a lot of the thick content so far has grabbed my attention. So I haven't watched a lot personally. But seeing this, I'm like, oh heck yeah, I need to check this out. See, that's one you talked about, and I never jumped in to watch it.
Come on, watch The Boys.
That's something that like I need to watch, and Trudy will never watch. And if I'm watching TV, she's watching TV. Ergo, I will never get to watch TV.
You're literally staring at a computer screen with headphones on.
So you can go in here, come hide in my office. I'm gonna go play video games.
What are you doing now? What's the difference?
I'm recording a podcast. You want me to watch the show while we're recording the podcast?
What are you doing in there when you're not doing a podcast? You're playing games. There's no difference between you playing the game and you watch a TV show.
It just feels weird to watch a show.
It's not that weird. Just do it.
Boys.
The Boys.
I'm currently in a closet watching a show while I'm doing the podcast. So I just want you to know.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So as far as the creators, they are bringing on, for some reason they just mentioned their last names, Nolan and Joy. Don't know why we don't have their first names, but there you go. It drew upon games as inspiration for Westworld. It's two people who directed Westworld, particularly Red Dead Redemption and BioShock, which was apparent in the rules of the park and its world building. The idea of them making a show set in the universe of a game series makes a lot of sense to us. So for those of you who loved Westworld from HBO they're totally going to be writing up a Fallout show. I'm really excited. I don't know what it will look like, what it will entail, obviously, because there's a lot of games with like a lot of different areas and storylines, stuff like that. But as soon as I read that part where it's just like the Mad Max-esque kind of like set pieces and stuff like that, that sounds so freaking cool. Like some dude just walking up in big old power armor and like mowing a bunch of people down. Like that sounds so fun. But are you guys, I mean, JJ, I know you're not a big Fallout fan, but no. I know you, Zach, you played a little bit like Fallout 76 and you played the older ones, obviously. Like, are you excited about this at all? Or you're just kind of like, it's...
Oh, man, I don't know. Like, I just got to see it. Like, Westworld, I dug Westworld, so there's a chance I might really like it. It's just tough with video games, you know what I mean? Like, it's... Like, gaming is so... Like, I'm even kind of like apprehensive of Last of Us show, too, because I'm like... When you play a game, there's different emotions, there's different... Like, for example, if you play a game like Mass Effect, right? For me, personally, I put the decisions I make and the things that I do, I kind of project my personality onto that character. You know?
Yeah.
So, I guess it can make more sense with something like Fallout 7, like Fallout, because there is no main protagonist, just kind of like a world that they're setting the stage around.
Right.
So we'll see. I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I don't have any. I think it's gonna be good. I think Amazon does a good job with their shows, as long as the production value is there, and they're willing to drop down the coin to make it feel like Fallout.
Yeah, that's key. Like it's gonna take some work. Like I just hope they don't phone it in. I hope they actually like will go the extra mile to have like those little touches that like the Fallout fans will be like, oh my gosh, they did that. Like that's so freaking cool.
The thing with the Fallout universe is that it's kind of, it walks this weird line between being like super dark and depressing, and then a little wacky.
Yeah, which I feel it could be really hard to do in film potentially.
If they stick with like Fallout 1, 2, and 3, and maybe 4, parts of 4, they should be okay. Just don't use 76, just because 76 was like way more on the wacky side, because it was like, well, open world, go do whatever you want, you know? Where like 3 and 4 had like these much deeper, richer stories that you kind of follow. And the other thing too is like I don't know if Fallout's really like a world that people want to see. You know what I mean? Like it's not like for example, it's got like weird like time travel-y stuff that is like makes like no real sense. The kind of stuff you just brush under the rug because you're like, okay, well, I gotta suspend my disbelief. You know, where if you're gonna make a true Fallout story, which has been done 100 bajillion times, like I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see how they're gonna be able to adapt it to a much wider audience outside of the fans.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. They don't want to just make a show for the fans. Like it has to, if they want to make money, it has to appeal to everyone.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting how they kind of walk that line and make it worth watching for those people who have no idea what Fallout is.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited about it. It'd be cool. Well, maybe not excited, but I'm interested in it to see how it's gonna unravel and come to fruition.
I liked it when you talked about Last of Us's TV show a little bit better. So why don't we just talk about that more?
I mean, there's not much more to talk about. It's gonna be on HBO.
I just want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's a show that I don't know if I'm gonna watch, man. That's gonna be some dark, heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after like playing through The Last of Us Part 2, it's like I can't imagine what they're gonna like. The first one's already hard and like heavy and dark, and then the second one is taken up a notch. It's like, oh, if they have a TV show and it's like real people, it's like, oh boy, I don't know about that. Might be a little much.
Yeah. So anyway.
Alrighty. I think it is time for us to do the ads for Patreon. Boo. So if you missed it at the beginning of the show, I said that we'd be talking about our Patreon, patreon.com/supergamerboys. And we wanted to share with you all the very cool things you can get by supporting us over there. So you can go over to that link, check out our tiers. We have a $1 tier. You can support us for $1 a month, and you will get our episodes early. You will get them ad-free. That's right. Tonight, after we finish this recording, as fast as I possibly can, I will edit and get that MP3 uploaded to Patreon, get it out there. I know it's usually late for a lot of you people, but there's some of you who work, graveyard shifts, and you love getting to listen to it early. So you're welcome, people who work graveyard shifts. The rest of you get it first thing tomorrow morning, probably when you wake up. But $1 a month, you can get that, and that's very much appreciated. Helps a ton, and we're so thankful for you. Just the $1 supporters, kind of the fill in all the gaps that need to be filled. Help me feel full. It's like the rice. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like the rice.
I don't know where I'm going with that.
Or the Fruity Pebbles.
Like the Fruity
I'm
Pebbles.
very curious to see where you were going to go with that, because that was interesting.
Okay. Next is the $5 tier, and over there you can get our show notes early as well. Sometimes you get them 2 or 3 days before we record, sometimes the night before, because Garrett is lazy and forgets. But either way, you get them early, and then you can go in there and see exactly what we're going to talk about, and you can leave your own the general points we're going to talk about. Who knows what JJ is going to come up with? There's no way to script that. There's no scripting JJ. But you can go in there and leave your own comments, concerns, questions, thoughts on all the news articles we're doing, on comment on what we've been playing, on our topic or question of the show. It's a lot of fun. Every couple of weeks we'll have someone chime in there. Derek will write in there sometimes. It's always a lot of fun to hear from those guys. So go check us out, $5 level or above, or above, you get that. And then the $10 level, you get the sponsor level. You get a shout out on the show, just like Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Dustin Long, Brent Fox that we mentioned earlier, as well as all the previous rewards. And then the top dog tier, $15 a month, just like our Patreon producer, Adrian Holmes. You get all the stuff we mentioned already, plus you get to pitch show segments. If you want us to do what we did that, the Final Fantasies haven't won, the Final Fantasy one that I missed because I was
build your own Final Fantasy crew.
Yes, I forget what we called it. JJ's just gone just like that. Okay, he was sick of the ad.
Disappeared.
What the heck is the magic stuff called?
We need
Holy
your
cow.
money to bring JJ back.
Yes, go support us right now to bring JJ back. But no, if you want to be part of the show, actually help us build this show and give us cool segments, cool questions, cool whatever, throw us news articles. You have our ear at all times. So that's basically what that gets you is you have direct access to us. And we'll take those segments a little more seriously and work alongside you. And who knows, maybe you'll be on the show one time. Adrian was on the show before. He was awesome. I'd love to have him back sometime. Cool. But yeah, that is it. Remember, patreon.com/supergamerboys. And now it is time to get back to the show. Okay, so we're back from the ad.
All right,
and I guess no, not enough people went and supported us on Patreon, so JJ's still not back yet.
He's still gone.
Remember, you need to go patreon.com.
I wonder if his phone died or something.
Probably. I would almost bet money that he forgot to plug that thing in. But that's fine because he was just going to talk about Last of Us Part 2.
$1 a month?
I would bet $15 a month. And you should too.
Yeah.
No. So new releases from this last week. Marvel's Iron Man VR came out on PlayStation VR on July 3rd. And Superliminal on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch on July 7th.
That VR game got such bad reviews.
Did it really?
Some bad reviews.
Oh, dude, I actually didn't even...
I think I was reading like a Verge article and they gave it like a 2.
Oh no.
like we can't even. It was like a 2 out of 5.
I need to look it up because from what I saw on Twitter... Oh, hang on. JJ is calling me on the other line. I don't know what just happened. I tried to decline JJ's call and instead it answered it, even though I hit the decline button. It like popped up and showed him. I tried to come back to Zetch and Zetch was gone. And then, oh, that was chaos.
That was bananas. Gotta do some mad editing.
Yeah, it'll be fine. A couple cuts, we're good to go.
Sorry.
You good to go, JJ? I'm going to get back into what I was saying about... I was looking up Iron Man VR. So it has on Metacritic a 74, 6.5 out of 10 user score. So yeah, not great. That's for sure. That's interesting because I feel like a lot of the people I saw on Twitter were generally not glowing, but more favorable. Like they're like, oh, it was like a really fun experience still. But I hadn't read any like full on reviews. So yeah, I very surprised to see here that it's not doing so hot. But
yeah.
If you want to be Iron Man for a couple hours.
They said that the demo was basically everything that the game was. And you just do that over and over, and over again.
That's not fun.
Yeah. A cool experience. And then it's like, oh, that's it. That's kind of all we got. You can
Just
eventually can upgrade like some missiles and stuff like that and get like new gear. But it wasn't the VR game that they were wanting.
Dang. That stinks. Because that could have been super awesome, especially since it's a Sony first party, like for PSVR, like they were publishing it. I think there'd be a lot more money Marvel involved in there.
Yeah.
But it's a bummer.
Yeah.
It's made by Camouflage. I'm trying to remember what else have they done.
Probably nothing.
Camouflage Game Studio. They have made... the only other game they've made is Republique back in 2013.
Oh, really? They did that?
Yeah. Which was, from what I remember, that was kind of a fun game. That was a good game.
It was a mobile game. It got ported to like a bunch of different things, but yeah.
It was on Android, Microsoft Windows, and Mac.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a weird like point and click type adventure game, which is good. Not to their discredit, it was really well accepted.
Yeah,
but yeah,
surprised.
They went with the
like
creator of that
developers. Yeah, the developers who like. I guess it shows here they made a Republic VR game. That's interesting for Steam.
They did. It's on Oculus.
I'm
like, I would never want to play this.
Yeah, very interesting. But let's get into what you've been playing. So how about you go first, Zetch?
Well, I've been playing. For some of you that might know, some of you PC gamers out there know that Steam Summer Sale is in full swing. So hang on to your wallets, because that money will fly out of there real quick. So I ended up picking up Doom Eternal. It's a game I already beat. And beat it on Xbox. Loved it to death. And the entire time I played it, I was like, man, I want to play this with a mouse and keyboard. And so it was on sale for like $30. I was like, I'm doing it. And I am really happy with my decision. That game is really, really fun, especially being able to react as quickly as I want with the mouse and keyboard on there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like I'm able to do more. So I'm actually playing it on a harder difficulty than I did on the Xbox one. I'm playing it on Hurt Me Plenty, I think. Whatever the second to the last difficulty setting is.
Okay.
And it's pretty fun. It's, oh my gosh, it's so good. Graphics are good. I can't wait for them. They're saying that it's going to support ray tracing soon. So once that happens, I'll be super pumped about it.
That's insane. Now, do you have a graphics card that's capable of?
I have a 1070. I have a GTX 1070. So yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
It's like fake RTX.
Right.
Fake ray tracing, but
still.
Yeah, I tried it on Call of Duty, and yeah, there's a difference. Yeah, it looks flipping phenomenal. Like it is. It's definitely like everything they're saying about it. Look, it's definitely worth it. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
And so I'm set. I was actually looking at graphics cards this weekend, thinking, oh, I really want to get into ray tracing, and I'm doing research like, I have that card. How come it's not? How come I can't get it set? And so you have to go into like the settings of the game to adjust it, and it's only on specific games apparently. So not all games support ray tracing. So I didn't know that. So that's what I learned.
Interesting. Dang, that's cool.
Yeah. And then
now there's probably a difference between, because I have a 1070 in my laptop, but there's probably a difference between a mobile one and the desktop version, right? Probably the same thing, you think?
Yeah.
Oh man, so I might have ray tracing on mine. Dang. Okay, carry on.
Yeah,
that got me all excited.
I know, you gotta check it out.
I need to research that now.
Yeah, go in. So if you have Call of Duty Modern Warfare on, or even like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which you can get, I think that one's on sale right now too. That one has ray tracing as well. That game looks so good too. Oh my gosh. Then you just go into like the settings and you turn on like NVIDIA, like NVIDIA highlights you turn on, and then you can turn on. They have some weird name for it, but basically, yeah, you'll figure it out. It's just ray tracing. So, yeah.
Sweet.
So I've been playing through that again, and then I'm at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm on chapter 17, towards like the middle of the chapter.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just met a certain special experiment in there. Okay. And so him and he's one of my buddies now. And yeah, that game is just, oh my word. That game is, I gave Final Fantasy VII, the original. I wouldn't say I gave a lot of crap to Final Fantasy VII, okay? A lot of people, especially our listeners, will probably argue with me and say that I did give a lot of crap. But if you really take a second and listen to what I said was that the game was overrated. I never said it was a bad game. I just said it was overrated. Final Fantasy VII Remake is very much rated. It is very on point, and it is really good. I wouldn't say it's a perfect 10 by any means, but it's definitely, if it wraps up the way I'm hoping it wraps up, it's definitely a solid 9 for me. So 8.5 to a 9. But it is, yeah. They've added so much more depth. Every moment, like that game, it's one of those games you play and you have a hard time putting down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just kind of keep going.
So. I know I fell in love with it. I mean, I had never really played completely through any Final Fantasy game, and 7 I had never even touched before. And so jumping into that, I was so pleasantly surprised. I'm like, oh man, I'm in for this. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Like was so fantastic. I loved it so much.
Yeah. That game's a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. That game is pretty heavy.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I don't have anything compared to the original, but I was like, oh man, like this is intense.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Cool.
Sometimes.
Nice. How about you, JJ? What have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing The Last of Us 2, as you probably already could guess, and I have been carving out time here and there, 45 minutes at a clip, an hour here, 25 minutes at a clip here. I am thoroughly loving this game. I know that it's gotten a whole lot of flack, and I know I'm a big fanboy because I love Last of Us 1. I think going and playing Last of Us 1 was detrimental to how much I love this game now. I think that anybody who plays this game should definitely, if they haven't played The Last of Us, the original, should go and do like a little refresher. Spend a week or two going back through the original game because it just adds so much depth to the story that's being told in two. I know it gets a whole lot of flack, but let's not worry about all the things that are questionable or make you go like, oh, there's meaning behind it, and I don't agree with the meaning. It's very easy because I don't agree with the subliminal meaning behind a lot of the game either. But what I do agree with is the beautiful vistas, the amazing graphics, and the story that I'm being told. I'm enjoying it for what it is. Is it brutal? Absolutely. It is completely brutal. If that's not your thing, don't get this game because this game is super brutal, but it's also heart-wrenching. Some of the things that you go through, that you're playing as characters having to make some choices that maybe aren't easy choices. There's quite a bit of that through this thing. And the clickers this time around are so much more scary, so much more realistic. It is completely terrifying. Play it in the dark. Play it in the dark. Get a good pair of headsets or get some surround sound going on, and tell me that when you're being attacked by runners and clickers, that you're not freaking the F out. I'm telling you, like, it is unreal how scary some of that stuff is. Yeah, but I'm loving it. I don't want to do a spoiler thing. I know that Garrett is playing it too. One thing is I stayed away from all spoilers when this game came out, and I was really very strongly felt I don't want to have anything ruined for me. And I heard a little pieces of snippets of stuff. Nothing has been ruined for me with this game. I've enjoyed it tremendously. This is the game that I was hoping that it would be. And it's just been phenomenal. And I hope that once Garrett gets done with it, that I know we have a couple of people who listen to the show and are very active in our Discord. I think it would be wonderful if we were to possibly, in the next couple of weeks after everybody's done playing it, going and doing maybe a special episode of the Super Gamer Boys where we're just talking
a spoiler
about
cast or something.
With spoilers, absolutely. Yeah, doing The Last of Us. And so, because some people, Zetch more than likely will never play the game. But it would probably be cool to hear. but
well, I did say that. So, and I did say I'm not a liar.
yeah. Well, I just mean it. But I'm sure you'd want to listen to an episode where everybody was talking about it and getting different perspectives on why people enjoyed it or didn't. So I look forward to doing that. But you've been playing this week. What's your impression, Garrett?
Yeah, so I had quite a bit spoiled for me, not intentionally. It was one of those things where it was during when all those leaks were happening, scrolling through Twitter, it was just a minefield. I should have just deleted the app, but instead I thought I could run across the field without watching my step. Boy, did I step on a lot of mines. But I even with all that, man, moments have still hit just as hard, whether it be a sad experience or there's even like there's been a couple moments that are happier, more positive. And let me tell you, like, I don't know if I've ever been, like, games make me emotional. That's something like over the last couple of years on the podcast, like I've realized more and more, like God of War, Spider-Man, like even Death Stranding, like there's games that are like, oh man, that really hit. I've never been this emotional during a game, like playing it and seeing, like, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but let me just tell you, like, even knowing when things are going to happen or what may be leading up to, it does not take away at all to the buildup and like how the story hits emotionally. I'm like, holy smokes, like this is like tears of joy, tears of sadness, tears of everything in between. and just like, or this feeling that tightness in your chest is like, holy smokes, like, are you kidding me right now? Like, it's bizarre, like how emotional I like the range of emotions that you feel playing this game, even having major things spoiled. And so, um, I I'm loving it. I was able to put a huge dent in it this weekend because well, I just started staying up late. I'm like, you know what? I got this copy. I'm gonna make it count. We had a long 3-day weekend for Fourth of July. We had an extra day off of work, so I was staying up till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning playing this game. I didn't quite catch up to you, JJ. I think I'm still a little bit behind you. I think I'm like 8 hours in now, which I know you guys were all thinking I put in like all these late night hours. I'm probably like 15 hours in, 20 hours in. No, I'm only 8. So that's after putting 2 long nights, I'm only 8 hours in, but that's the life of a dad. But dude, like I just get so lost in the worlds. Like that's the other thing. So not only has the story been not what I expected, like I even talked about it a couple weeks ago. I was just like, I'm excited to play this game one day, but I didn't feel like I had to play it. Like I was like, I can wait. I originally was like, I can wait. I need to play it on PS5. And then I did that playthrough the first one and then played the DLC Left Behind. And I'm like, oh no, I need to play this one a little sooner. Like there's a lot of stuff at the end there I did not remember. Like I needed to play through the first one. That got the juices going. And then playing through this, I'm like, this is not what I expected at all. Like nothing. Like you hear all the things that people like have issues with the story, and it's just like, I don't know. Like I obviously we haven't beaten the game yet. I haven't seen that yet. So far, I've been pleasantly surprised with. At least, I mean, and everyone's taste is different though. So like what one person says, like, oh, that was horrible storytelling. Maybe I'm just an idiot and I'm like, I think it's great. Like, I love it. Like maybe I just am too used to eating trash, I guess. I don't know. I'm just like fine with it. I'm just like, I'm great. Like I'm just the video game raccoon here. I'll eat all your garbage.
That's a good point. That's a good point, actually.
But for me, I'm absolutely loving it. But yeah, the world's like, I was surprised at how open some areas would be, and even just in general, like it's just such a beautiful like environment they've built, and there's so much storytelling in the world. So like when any of you guys do play it out there, like take your time. Like there's times where maybe a mission would have taken me a lot quicker, but like I got sidetracked for like an hour just like exploring different areas and rooms and finding notes. And I've been reading every time I pick up a letter, I'm reading it, and I'm getting so much more out of like the world story, just reading every single scrap of piece of paper you pick up. And it's great. Like it just really caught me off guard because I know I was kind of like not poo-pooing it, but I'm like, I'm fine. I don't need to play this one. Like JJ's stoked for it. You get it. And then boy, I turned around after playing the first one, and then even more so now that I'm playing it, I'm like, no, I'm glad I'm playing it now. Like I needed to play this like while it's coming out before I either lose, before I become maybe even more jaded and disinterested with time, possibly, depending on what more things come out about it and people complain about it. And I want to be able to play with JJ. Like it's been fun to actually be able to talk to you. Like you're like, hey, where are you at? Yeah. And tell you things and be like,
you know what? Like that for real, that has been one of the cooler things, because normally when we play games, we're not doing it concurrently. It's normally you playing it first and then me, or vice versa. So it's been really neat to be able to say, where are you at? And oh my gosh, I love that part, and talking about it like this, or dude, what did you think about this? So that's been really a really interesting thing to be able to play it while you're playing it as well.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. But like JJ said, go play the first one first. Like even if you've just played the last couple of years, even I feel like it really added so much more to do it back to back like that, like within a couple of days, like beating the first one, playing the Last of Us DLC or the Left Behind DLC there, and then going right in the second one. It's been a ride these last couple of weeks, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm about 13 hours in, so you're at about 8. I'm about 13 or 14 hours in, and I think that a game all told is around 35 to 40 hours. Kind of depends on how you play it or whatever.
It's kind of an average time, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's probably going to take me a lot longer than that, so just saying.
Well, you better pick up the pace if we want to do a spoiler cast.
Right.
Alrighty. Well, let's get into the topic of the show here. So this one brought to you by our very own Zech Keenan. He pitched this to us, and I was like, yes, this is good. We need to do this. It is now about halfway through the year, so we need to discuss. And JJ, I realize you didn't read the show notes, so you have no idea.
Oh no, I
About this
know
question.
because nope, but I can already tell you what it is because
Okay.
I pay
I
very
forgot.
heavy attention to Discord.
I forgot.
So.
Yeah, you actually are in the Discord by supergamerboys.com/Discord if you want to join us over there. But our top 5 games of the year so far for 2020. So games that have come out in 2020. I know the games, the year's not over yet, but for this first half of the year, games that you've played this year that have, I guess, come out this year is the idea. What are your guys' top 5? Zetch, let's start with you.
Okay, starting from number 5, going to my number 1. Okay, Number 5, Valorant. Okay, that game is a very clever class-based FPS, and it doesn't disappoint. That game is very nuanced in so many different ways that it is definitely a game that is too competitive for me to be able to take the time to get good at. But actually, playing from what I have played of it, it is one of the best. I actually put it up there. It's probably actually better than Overwatch in some ways, just because it requires a lot more skill.
Wow.
To play than Overwatch. Overwatch is great because anybody can kind of play Overwatch and have fun, but Valorant is very much a skill-based, class-based shooter.
Yeah.
Number 4, Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Ah.
Oh man, that game is gorgeous. That game is so beautiful, and the platforming is so well dialed. That game is like on me. That game hits a 9. That's a 9. That game is so. The storytelling is so well done, so emotional for like not having any real dialogue between characters, just narrated at points. But the emotion is so well illustrated that you gotta you get into it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Is that one you need to play the first one? Like I should play the first one because that's on. I saw the first one's on Game Pass. They both are, but
Oh man, should you play the
first
first one?
Because I feel like I almost jumped into Will of the Wisp. I'm like, oh, the first one's on Game Pass. I should play through that.
They're kind of standalone stories. You'll understand what Ori is if you play the first one, because Ori and the Blind Forest kind of explains how Ori has these different like abilities and all this kind of stuff. And so Ori and the Will of the Wisps is him kind of trying out about his buddy.
Okay.
So, and it's very much about brotherhood or I guess in this case, sisterhood. Since Ori is the boy and the person trying to help kind of like a sister. But anyway, friendship is really the underlying tone of that game. It's beautifully told. It's awesome.
Dang.
Number 3, and this was where things get really tight. My number 3 and my number 2 slot are really tight. My number 1 is like a mile. Like nothing's going to take number 1. But number 2 and 3. Number 3 came in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay.
Got my number 3 slot. And I've already kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier in the show. That game is just really, really, really good. Doom Eternal is number 2.
Nice.
You
bought it twice.
I bought it twice.
It has to be on the list.
That game is one of the funnest first-person shooters I've ever played, and like I can't put. You talk about games that you can't put down. Doom Eternal, like I have a hard time just like walking away from it. Like that game is so addicting. It's such an adrenaline rush. So many different ways you get to combo, like your skill sets and your guns and your ability. Oh my gosh, it's so well done. Platforming. That game is so good. Story wise, I mean, it's also really fun too. Just being this. I mean, I can't do that in real life. Just
blowing stuff up.
Yeah, I can't be I'm not looked at as like, oh, he's Zetch. He's a pretty BA dude. No, I'm not. But in Doom on the other hand, I'm very BA, and it feels great.
Yes, that's awesome.
And then number 1, Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
Half-Life Alyx is my number 1. You guys can have your Last of Us 2. Half-Life Alyx is the pinnacle of gaming experiences.
I know. I want to play it so bad.
In anything. Like there's nothing that can compare to the greatness of Half-Life Alyx. The feeling, the music, the emotions, the puzzle solving.
I have another buddy who has an Oculus Rift. I should ask. He like never uses it. Like it sits in a box in his closet. I should totally ask him if I could borrow it.
Yeah,
because
borrow that.
I want to play it so bad.
Yeah,
it looks so amazing. Everything you've talked about, I'm like, oh man, it'd probably easily be on my list, but I need to try it.
Just the mechanics of like reloading your gun, like when you're in the middle of like a firefight and like anything, it's just like, oh, tap X to reload, and it does the thing. It's like, no, this is like, you got guys coming at you, you're shooting your gun, you're out of bullets, you got to eject the mag, grab a cup, put it in, load the chamber, and then start shooting again, and hope that you're not dead by then.
Yeah, have you played Arizona Sunshine on Oculus VR? Okay, it's a super janky like wave fighting zombie game.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But it has the same exact mechanics for shooting. That's the one I played on my buddy's Rift. Like you played Arizona Sunshine, and you have like your one hand you can have a flashlight, and the other one you can have a gun. So you're kind of like doing like this type of thing with a pistol or whatever. And if you want, or you can have it like set on your chest or whatever like that, like a little clip. But yeah, like that was always the most terrifying thing. These zombies coming at you, and you're just like trying to figure out how to do the clip thing. So yeah, I couldn't imagine like in a full on like game mode. Like that was just like a wave fighting kind of thing. But yeah, and like
the thing about it though is that like everything is like destructible. So and like everything can be moved or used. So
crazy.
Like if you're like, it's not like any other game where it's like you're kind of like boxed into like certain mechanics. You're like, your imagination is your limitation. So if you can figure out a way like, okay, well, I know there's a guy behind there. I can chuck this bottle and think I'm over there, and then I can swing around and shoot him this way. But you actually have to physically do it. It's not like, it's right. So good. Like you can't beat that.
That's so cool.
So anyway,
that's awesome. Cool.
Those are my top 5. What do you guys got?
Nice.
So I didn't get to play as many games. I had some life-altering stuff with my family happen at the beginning of the year. So I've only played a little bit of old games and then only a handful of the new games this year. But very easily, number 1 is going to very easily be The Last of Us 2. And in second place, I hate to say it, probably the second best game that I played this year that was new is Resident Evil 3. I thought it was a good little story. The only thing that I really liked about it, though, it was a great little story. The thing that I liked about it was that it was kind of shorter than Resident Evil 2. I loved Resident Evil 2, but I felt like Resident Evil 2 was a really long game. And other than that, I haven't played any real new games. I played a lot of old stuff. As far as games that have come out this year that I think are probably the best games that have come out this year, Final Fantasy VII looks really great. I laughed about it in the beginning because I'm just not that caliber of nerd, but I think the game looks really beautiful, and the gameplay that I've seen, it just looks really, really awesome. And that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to add, unfortunately, guys. But I did see it on Discord, and I did think about it, and I didn't get to play enough new games. If you want to talk games from 2 years ago, I'm just getting caught up.
No, I mean, you came into the generation late, so you have an excuse, You didn't get a PlayStation until just a couple of years ago.
Yes.
So you had a lot of catching up to do. There's a lot of good games on the PS4.
And man, I've been trying to play all the good ones. So.
Heck yeah. You just keep doing you, JJ. So my list here, I'm going to start with 5. It kind of went back and forth for me, but ultimately it was back and forth between Resident Evil 3 and Dreams. And eventually I landed on Dreams, which may seem totally wild, but I don't know. I was just so, after years and years and years and years of them talking about, like, it was at the launch of the PS4 in 2013 or 2012, like before the PS4 came out, it was in one of the reveal trailers, like a little clip that was from Dreams. So this has literally been, kind of 7, 8 years of just like, what the heck is Dreams going to be? And for it to come out and kind of be what people thought, but not at all what people thought, and be so much more than what people thought. And at the same time, like, not, I don't know, it's this weird like thing where it's like everything and nothing at the same time. But there's just so much potential. Like that's what shocked me is when I started going through the library of stuff people have been creating, because it came out early access last fall, November, December, I think, and then came out fully in February this year. So that's why I'm counting it for this year, because it was officially released to the public out of early access with the campaign, story mode, everything like that. And man, the library is so vast, from the remakes of PT to completely original creations of like these amazing platformers with these cute little characters, games that, and they work. Like it plays just fine. Like I would totally be fine playing like a 6-hour like platformer like that in Dreams if someone made it. There's also like 2D, like fun, like really fun, like 2D type shooter games like Galaga style or something like that. Like all sorts of really cool stuff people have built. So Dreams is amazing because there's just so much potential there. That's what blew me away. And I'm interested to, I do try to check in, at least once a month, the last couple months here, because I've been playing other games, but just to see what the top games are. And people are still making stuff. It's still pretty active, surprisingly. Number 4, Call of Duty Warzone. So I really, really, really enjoyed that Battle Royale this year. Or not even Battle Royale, but like the Warzone just as a whole. And then actually more specifically, oh shoot, I totally forgot what it's called. Payload. That's what it's called. Payload mode is so much stinking fun. And just was such a refreshing take on the Battle Royale genre. Because for so long, it's been like, everyone just says kind of the same thing. They had a little gimmick, but I was just kind of sick of the whole, okay, 100 people drop an island, you die, you have to restart. I really like them kind of tweaking it, like, oh, okay, you respawn, and it's all about who has the most money at the end. And so really it's not Battle Royale at all, but it's just the dropping on the island, the vehicles, and just the crazy moments I had with some of my friends. Man, it was so much fun. Animal Crossing on Switch. That one was huge for quite a few weeks there. I was super into that until Final Fantasy VII kind of knocked me down the peg, that's for sure. I was just like, holy cow, never played Animal Crossing. This game is amazing. Like, this is just what I needed going into, like, everything's on lockdown. I can't see my friends anymore, so I'll just hang out with them on Animal Crossing. It was a cool thing for the moment. And even still, I jump in there occasionally. They just added swimming. You can now jump into the ocean because you're on a little island in the game. You can finally jump into the ocean, swim, and collect little sea creatures and stuff. So like, okay, they're still doing events. They're still adding stuff, which is awesome. And something that unfortunately Nintendo doesn't always do, support their games long term, like Super Mario Maker 2 that barely got any DLC, or like Super Mario Party, which got 0 DLC. So I'm glad they're supporting this kind of so far. Number 2 for me, Final Fantasy VII, and honestly, I know I just kind of blurted that out, but right away, number 2 and 1 for me are interchangeable at this point. And maybe, actually, I think number 2 might be Last of Us 2. I'm sorry, JJ. Number 2 is Last of Us 2 for me. Only because I haven't quite finished it yet. And so far...
I'm done.
Okay. No. I know. No, because I haven't finished Last of Us yet. So I don't have the full picture. I want to get the full picture. I want to get the whole story. So far, it is blowing my socks off. So these are kind of interchangeable. But that to lead into Final Fantasy VII then, like, as my number 1, I think the reason I would pick that number 1 at this point is because that was a game I had no previous experience with, no previous, like, I had all these things I'd heard from other people that I thought it might be, and then for me to jump in there and it to be, I don't know, I feel like it's so completely different. Granted, people were basing that off the original one, but jump into this one, it's like, oh, this is so completely different than I thought it was going to be based off what people have said. It was just such fun combat, such a great story. The characters were amazing. Like, I really actually care about like some of these characters and like, okay, what's going to happen next? Like the way this one, this first one ends, it's pretty obvious. Like, okay, there's going to be part 2. Like, what the heck? Like, give me this part 2. Like, I want to see how this goes on here. There's just so much about this game that shouldn't make sense for who I am and what kind of games I like. And it grabbed me like so tight in its grasp that I think that's why I have to switch it and make it number one, because it was totally out of left field. I had even said on the show, like, there's no way I'm going to buy this. I'm not going to pre-order. I'm not going to play it. It's ridiculous. Like, it's Final Fantasy, whatever.
Yeah.
And then for me to literally, like, I think I changed my mind either the day it came out or like the day before. I think it was like the day it came out. Finally, I'm like, nah, I got to go for it. Like, someone was talking about it. I'm like, nope, okay. I'm just going to bite the bullet and do it. And I don't regret it at all. Like, I love it so stinking much. And it's making me want to play other Final Fantasy games. Like how I bought Final Fantasy 15, was on sale for like $10. And Zetch was talking to me about this, talking to me earlier before the show started that, hey, you need to try this one too. That's Final Fantasy 6. That was on Super Nintendo. And I've had other friends like, hey, I think you might like this one or that. They want the other one.
10.
So,
oh my gosh, Final Fantasy 10.
I've heard 10 is great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the end to 10 will make you cry like a little baby. A little baby that's missing his mama. That game, oh my word.
Okay.
And you kind of like see it foreshadowed. I'll never forget the ending of that game. That game is one of the best endings ever. I was like, no. No. Oh man, it was like one of the best happy, sad moments.
Dang. Okay.
It hurts so much just thinking about the end of that game. Oh my god.
I need to go play that one too. I think those ones are all on Switch now too.
That's like 100 hours long though.
That'll take me like 10 years to play. But yeah, so 2 is Last of Us Part 2, and 1 is Final Fantasy 7 for me so far this year. So I'm excited for the year to come, though. Really curious to see what the future holds for gaming, as things are just changing up so much with all the coronavirus and everything going on. Things getting delayed, things getting pushed around, but we will see. Cool, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to the show this week. Remember, you can support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. You can buy our sweet, sweet merch over at supergamerboys.com/store. Review us over on your podcast service of choice. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, comment below. It's always fun to see those. You can find us during the week over on our website, supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys, facebook.com/supergamerboys. I am on Twitter at gmorlang. JJ's on Twitter
at JJPurdom.
And Zetch is over on Instagram at
Zetch Keenan, but I kind of keep that one private, so just follow me on at nerd_dads.
Heck
Nerd
yeah.
dads. Go nerd dads.
Go nerd dads.
Viva la nerd dads.
Thank you so much to Star Andrews for our logo. Check her out on Instagram at Ground Floor Graphics and Facebook.com/Ground Floor Graphics.
All right. I guess we finished. I forget how we typically end this thing. Is it like an awkward pause? Do you like just sort of wave to the...
No, you do your thing. You got to do your thing.
Okay. Well, let me do that thing. How do I do that again? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us. We've had an awesome time. You guys are just amazing listeners and viewers of this incredible podcast. Myself, I'm JJ Purdom. The guy right there that looks kind of like a very small, cuddly hobbit, that is Zetch Keenan, and he's a lovable, lovable little man. He doesn't know anything about video games at all, but he's a lovable little guy. And then, of course, Garrett Morlang. Garrett Morlang is the captain of this ship and stands 6'8" tall. You cannot tell how tall that man. He's a giant of a man with a very small brain.
A behemoth.
Very, very small brain. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.